The latest Nikon Z series lens roadmap came out last year, and it showed some very promising ideas about what we should expect for the Nikon Z system. In terms of lenses, they come out with staples like the 14-24 or the 24-105, but it also introduced some very interesting lenses like the 50mm f1.2. But there are a few lenses I did not see on there, and I will go over them in this video. What's up guys, it's Project Photography back with another video, and today I was looking at the lens roadmap and I was thinking there are some lenses that I would want to see on there, and there's just a few that I can think off the top of my head, but I'm going to go into that further in this video. But I just want to make a comment about the Nikon lens roadmap for the Z series. First of all, I think it is moving in a good direction. It is not going in the same direction like Canon did by introducing a bunch of professional grade glass that are big, heavy, and expensive and not very available to the average consumer. Nikon has gone a different route by introducing prime lenses that are 1.8 instead of 1.2s, making them very affordable for the masses. They've introduced staples like the Holy Trinity, and they're finishing it off with lenses like the 100-400 and the 200-600. All I think are moving in the right direction and will appeal to a large, broad base of Nikon supporters. But like everyone out there, I'm sure there are a few lenses that you guys would want to see on there. I think a lot of people would want to see different lenses and see Nikon innovate. Like something like we want more 1.2 lenses and whatnot. But I'm here to make a lens wish list about what I want to see in the Nikon Z system. Now some of these lenses are absolutely doable. They are 100% going to be made. They just weren't announced on the latest roadmap. They're probably going to be coming in 2022 or in the near future. One of the other lenses is a lens that I think that Nikon should make. They absolutely must make this lens, and I think it'll overall make the system much better and have a lot more eyeballs towards the Nikon Z system. And the last lens that I want is quite a long shot, and I don't think Nikon will make it, but it's a lens that if they do make it, they will truly stand out from the crowd, and I think will attract a large base of people. So with that all being said, let's jump right into the video. So the first lens on my wish list is the Nikon 70-300 f4.5 to 5.6. Now, Nikon has a plethora of different versions of this lens for the f mount, and I have one of them here. It is the Nikon 70-300 VRG. This is a wonderful lens, probably one of my favorite lenses of all time, because it is super lightweight and is also insanely sharp and has great lens characteristics. I absolutely love this lens. I use it all the time for my landscape photography. And I know Nikon already has a telephoto lens that is lightweight for the Z system. It's a 50-250, but it is only crop sensor. And I know why they're delaying the 70-300, because they thought, okay, well, we came out with a lightweight telephoto, let's wait until we come out with another one. And I totally understand this, but here's the thing. I need this lens for full frame. Now, this is a great lens for crop sensors, but not everyone's going to be owning a Nikon Z50 or the latest Nikon Z crop sensor camera. So what I want to see is a full frame 70-300. I think this lens would be very inclusive to the Nikon system, because not a lot of people want to spend all that money on a 70-200 equivalent, or they want something lighter. So that's where the middle kind of ground falls with the 70-300. Not only is it a really lightweight, great lens, but I think an adaptation for the Z series would make the Z series a lot more inclusive and have a lot more people to switch over to. And plus, one other important reason why I want a Z equivalent to this lens is mainly because the adapter actually adds on extra weight. And if I'm going out and shooting landscapes, I want to have native lenses, because if I have native lenses, that means that I don't have to worry about bringing an adapter, which is extra weight. So by having the Z series 70-300, I don't have to worry about an adapter, and having native lenses is always going to be better than adapting lenses in the first place. I am pretty confident that this lens will absolutely come out in the near future. Nikon has already created about 3 70-300s for their full frame camera, so it just makes a lot of sense knowing their history that they come out with one for the Z system. It's just a matter of when and how. The second lens I want to talk about is a Nikon 135 f1.8 or lower. So looking at Nikon's mount diameter for the Z system, you can see that it is bigger than the other camera manufacturers. It is a 55mm diameter, and it has a 16mm flange distance, which is extremely short, which means that Nikon is able to create these insanely good optically lenses, and they're able to have faster, wider apertures. If you have ever used any of the Z series lenses, you will know how amazing they are. That entire reason why they created a larger mount would aid lenses like a 135 f1.8 or 1.4. I just put in both because I know Sony has the incredible 135 f1.8, and that lens has been revered by so many photographers. Now, one big reason why I think this lens needs to be created is because they had a 135mm f2, and that lens was created in the 1990s and was absolutely loved by everybody. Everyone who owned that lens said it was an incredibly sharp lens, it had amazing bokeh characteristics, and they just loved it. But the sad part is they never came out with a G version for that lens. There was nothing wrong with that lens, but that lens was never updated, and I think a lot of people would love to see that lens updated to a Z series version, because the only 135mm that you can adapt with autofocus on the Z series would be the Sigma 135. I know that Sigma is not a native lens, so hopefully Nikon is able to create a 135mm f1.8 or 1.4. Now this lens is perfect for portraiture, it's perfect for events, it's perfect for a lot of different things, and that 135 focal length is a very prized focal length of a lot of people. Now I talked about the diameter strictly because I know for a fact that this lens could come in a 1.4 variant. Now, having a 1.4 aperture over 1.8 doesn't necessarily make the lens better, but I think a lot of people perceive that as more professional, thus that having that lower aperture would make it more prestigious. And I think the Nikon Z system needs that kind of boost up, because when you look at all their lenses, they're great for the consumer level, but I think a lot of people complain of the fact that their lenses aren't quote-unquote professional because they're 1.8. I obviously disagree with that notion, because it doesn't matter about the aperture, it just matters about how the lens performs, and clearly all the Z lenses perform insanely well. But with a 135 f1.4, that would be absolutely insane. That would be the highest focal length with the lowest aperture of a 1.4. That would be absolutely incredible. And I think that would just make the Nikon Z system way more formidable. And this is a lens they totally could do. I could totally see them making it, but it's just a matter of if they do it. And I think that's the real thing it comes down to. This last lens is a lens that I would absolutely love to have. And it is a 20 to 60mm for the Nikon Z system. Oh my gosh, if they made this lens, it would make Nikon so incredibly good in terms of their entire ecosystem. Like, imagine having a lens that has a really wide focal length at 20mm and then goes right into the standard focal length like 60mm. Every single one of our standard zooms has always been something around a 24 or 28 on the widest end. Imagine having a 20mm. Oh my gosh, that'd be absolutely insane. Look at what Panasonic is doing with their L mount alliance. They have a 20 to 60mm 3.5 to 5.6. That lens alone would make me switch over to the L mount. I know that sounds really ridiculous, but that is literally the perfect lens for what I do and for travel and literally anything. And plus that lens is like 300 or so grams. Like, that is absolutely incredible. And if Nikon is able to make a lens like this, that would be so amazing. Now, Nikon is not one to go off and make weird different lenses from your traditional focal length. So that is why I think that Nikon will most likely not make this lens. But if they did, if Nikon was able to make this lens, that would put them above the crowd and make them stand out amongst everybody else. Because every lens manufacturer has a 24 to 70, a 70 to 200, it has the standard stuff. But what I want to see as a Nikon consumer, I want to see different unique products. I want to see innovation. I want to see Nikon take charge of the mirrorless field and come out with different interesting lenses. Like, I love having your standard 24 to 70. I love having your 24 to 105. I love even having the standard 35mm. But what I want to see is innovation from Nikon. And that's something we really haven't seen in the recent years. And that's something that I think would put them way above the crowd. The likelihood of this lens coming to fruition is super low. I understand that. But I can dream. This is a wish list, by the way, so I just throwing my thoughts out there, you know? Like, these aren't lenses that I expect to happen, but this is a lens that I really wish would happen. So those are the three lenses that I really want to see happen. The 7300, I know for a fact will come eventually. The 135mm, I think Nikon should make, and there's a pretty good chance it might come. The 20 to 60, I don't think is actually going to come to fruition. I really wish it did, but I doubt it will. So yeah, those are the three lenses, and I think those are really different lens choices. And I think especially the 135 and the 20 to 60, if they made that those lenses, wow, that would be insane. I know I understand the need for staple lenses like Nikon has created, like your 1.8 lens primes, like your standard Holy Trinity. I understand the need for those lenses, but I think for Nikon to be above the crowd, they need to innovate. And they need to just come out with different lenses, because throughout the generations of cameras, we've all seen the same lenses and same bodies over and over, but I think Nikon really needs to take the charge in this and really come out with new and different things. I think it's time, Nikon, and hopefully they watch this video and they see what people are thinking in terms of what they want for the Z system. I think coming out with different innovative lenses will get people to switch and get people to look at the Nikon Z system differently. And hopefully they're able to change the course they're on now, because sadly it's not going too hot. And I really do hope that Nikon does be successful in the future. And I really love this company and I just want to see it succeed. So let me know what you guys think of my different lenses that I wish would come to fruition. Let me know what you guys would want to see from the Nikon Z system. I'm really interested to see what your guys' opinions are. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next one.